Well, I'm gonna go try to get my license today, driver's license renewed. See if I can pass that eye exam. Been fretting about it for 2 years, so we'll see. I might be going and getting the surgery this month, huh? So we're gonna leave in a couple hours. Get down there and oh, I hate going to the driver's office, the license office. I just hate it. And, I mean, you gotta, I've learned how to deal with them over the years, but it's ridiculous that you got to do it. I mean, you basically have to go in there just real flirtatious and joyful and happy, and you can't be yourself. And if you give the slightest indication that something's wrong with you, boy, they're going to jump all over you. So don't do that. Oh, so last night it stormed really hard. So we've had probably 2 weeks of just straight 100-degree temperatures, maybe a week and a half. And business is completely dried up. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit worried that I'm not going to get a video this week. I mean, it's only Wednesday, so there's still a chance for my other channel. I like to try to get at least one video up every week on my other channel, because I post a video every week. So I have, let's see, May of 2028, so almost 2 years worth of videos on that other channel. Of course, I would have liked to hit the goal of 2 years worth of videos on that other channel before this season ends. Now, last year I was getting business well into October, so you know, I guess it's still possible that can happen, but I don't remember it ever drying up this, you know, business drying up this hard in July. But it has just stopped. Got a mower in last week, a push mower, simple carb change, and it's just slowed down, and then nothing. This last week we didn't get anything last week. So with this rain, the grass might start growing. Well, actually, it looks like I could probably cut it this Sunday. It's when I normally cut it. I went over to the place where I've been volunteering and thinking about, you know, what should I cut that? It probably could be cut too. So maybe there'll be a little bit of rejuvenation in lawnmower repair business. I heard somebody mowing this morning. That's the strangest thing to me. As soon as it stops raining, they start mowing. I mean, it hasn't rained for 2 weeks, so you could have mowed any time, I guess because of the heat. I don't know, but it's pretty hard on a lawnmower to mow when it's wet. And you know, people will say, oh, you don't want to abuse the engine and all that stuff. It's not really the engine I'm worried about. It's the belts. The belts, it's pretty tough on the belts. They'll start slipping. So what else is going on? There's not a lot going on, you know, without any business. Like I said, there was a pretty significant storm yet last night. Of course, Red jumps up into the bed. But, you know, I hold these tarps down with bricks. I know, terrible idea. But it works for the most part. But the wind was so strong that it yanked this brick up to about right here. So it was pretty significant. But my signs held up. My new banners. You know, I don't want to show you my new banner, but I think it's right there. You should be able to see it. They held up. This one over here loosened up a little bit. I just had to spread the fence post back out a little bit. Somebody's going to say, why don't you drive those fence posts into the ground? And I just know somebody's going to say it. The reason I didn't drive them in the ground, because that's an easement, and it's just power line or cables or whatever you want to call it, fiber optics. There's tons of them under that easement there. I mean, they come out about every other year and mark them up, and it's just, I bet there's 10 of them out there. As a matter of fact, last year they came to mark it up, and they were supposed to put a new line, and the guy said, there's just too many lines here already. We can't add any more. I mean, I was talking to him because I thought he wanted me to move my little signs I had, you know, before these. And he says, so they ended up doing it across the street and running the cable up underneath the road and over to where they needed it instead of running it straight. So anyway, if I drove a fence post down there, I'm liable to break one of those cables or lines, and I don't want to be responsible for that. What else going on? I thought I had something in my mind here and I forgot. I'm actually kind of excited to see how that electric weed eater works. You know, I feel like buying that electric weed eater, like I sacrificed myself. But it's hard to find a cheap gas-powered weed eater. The cheapest one I could find was nearly $200. That was a Husqvarna, and you know, that's not cheap to me. You get an electric one for $68. So, but I'm sure that's what's happened to this lawnmower repair business, and I knew it was going to happen. I had hoped it would last a little bit longer, but weed eater business was pretty substantial for me. I'd probably get 15, 20 a year, and I don't think I've gotten 10 this year. So, you know, that business is about over. And then, of course, you know, we got riding mowers and push mowers. I would imagine a lot of push mowers are being replaced. I'm not getting near the push mowers I did. So that leaves riding mowers. And I don't think people are going to buy riding mowers, electric riding mowers around here. I just don't think it's going to. It's just too dang hilly and rocky. It's pretty treacherous here. So, but what are you going to do? I mean, yeah, it's just an industry that's going to go away. I worked on one electric push mower this year, but I couldn't do anything to it. He hit a rock and it broke the shaft loose inside the motor, so you had to replace the motor, and it was just as cheap just to go get another push mower from Walmart. So I told you yesterday I got into that fender bender at the gas station. Of course, it didn't bend my fender at all. It didn't do anything. So the insurance company called back to file for to file a claim, and they said that they'll send me an email telling me what auto body shop I can take my truck to. And I said, I don't need to take my truck to the auto body shop. There's no damage to it. Paint's barely scratched. And they said, that's okay. If you don't want to do it, then you just don't make the appointment. I said, but you're going to charge me $500 deductible and I don't have a claim. And they said no, because I've never been in an accident. I mean, I've hit a truck, a tree, and I got the bumper fixed one time. You know, I backed into a tree. And I'm not even sure how the deductible worked. I don't remember paying it. So anyway, it doesn't matter. And he said, no, you pay the deductible when you go to the auto body, when you pick up your vehicle. Oh, okay, well that makes sense. So I figured that conversation was over. And they said, somebody will call you to get your side of the story about the accident. Great. So I've been working with AI, trying to figure out, what I want to say, making sure that my, everything is correct. And that way I can just go through bullet points. So somebody calls this morning, I'm thinking, okay, this is it. This is going to be the them getting my side of the story. And he says, yeah, this is so-and-so from such auto body. And he says, we need to set up an appointment for your truck. And I said, I just don't understand this. They called me yesterday, and I told them I didn't need to get the truck worked on. There's nothing wrong with it. And he said, oh, okay. And he said, I was just calling to set up an appointment. And I said, yeah, I just don't need anything fixed. He says, okay, well, we'll delete it. And I'm thinking, this is just a massive waste of time. So insurance companies are constantly trying to make money, trying to skimp you on claims. So what do? They spend massive amounts of money calling people about claims when they don't need a claim. In their program, they could have called and said, hey, we're going to set up a claim for you, and you can take it over to the auto body. And I could have said, no, I don't want to. And they could have clicked a button, and that would have been the end of the story. Somebody will call you tomorrow for your side of the story. Great, thanks. But instead, no, we're going to go ahead and process this through and get it into the system. Why? So now they've wasted money getting it into the system. Then they send it over to the auto body guy, who has to call. I learned this today from AI. They have to call so they can stay on good ratings with the insurance company, so they continue to get the business from the insurance company. So he has to call. So he's wasting money calling people who may not need their vehicle fixed. And it seems to me that there was really no reason for him to call. I'm not saying he shouldn't, because obviously he gets credit for calling. Because if I needed my truck fixed, I would have called already. So, you know, it just seems like a monumental waste of money these insurers are spending on bureaucracy. I mean, you figure the auto body guy, he has to raise his prices so he can hire a guy just to go around calling people. So, you know, it's just insane. But like I said yesterday, this is my first accident that I've actually been in that made contact with another car. After 38 years of driving, and I know nobody believes this when I say it, but I traveled for business. And all through the Midwest, Minnesota, northern Minnesota, Canada, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Missouri. I mean, just constantly. I just constantly was on the road. So I figured it up, and I have probably about 800 to 900,000 miles accumulated in my life. And I've never hit another car. Now, I've hit 2 deer and a tree. Of course, when we were camping, I backed into that stump, or that pole also. Now, you can blame me, and that's fine. I'm not saying that, you know, you can't count that one. But that was, you know, the camper trying to manipulate the camper also. At least that's my memory of it. So, the camper was the fault. And I've never claimed to be a good trailer driver. But regardless, you know, I've had 2 deer. One of the deer did no damage. I'm not even sure I hurt the deer. I mean, I slowed way down. I think it was just more of a bump and I knocked him over. And it was a Bambi, a doe. And then driving through Iowa, probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, I got one good. It hit so hard, it made the car veer off. So, but I repaired that on my own. Yeah, I didn't even have to pay a deductible. I ordered all the stuff off of eBay, repaired it, and it looked basically original. I was really proud of myself. But of course, like I have said in the past, my first wife's dad was an auto body, and he taught me quite a bit on how to do auto body. I mean, nowhere near expert. I'm still, you know, at the novice range at best, apprenticed. But I learned quite a bit that I could do that. So, but you know, this has really stressed me out. I mean, it's kind of funny. My brain keeps going into these little loops like, well, I guess I'll lose my license because, you know, I'm thinking about getting a license and all that's kind of, and oh, I guess I can't drive. And I mean, the first thing that crossed my mind yesterday after I bumped into her was, well, I guess I won't be going to a license office tomorrow. And I don't even know why I thought that. It's just, I guess because I went so long without an accident, I've just never really considered what that does to the brain. I don't know if everybody goes through this when they get into a small fender bender. So, oh well, what are you going to do? So I'm going to jump off of here. So if you'll click this up next box, take the video over to my other channel. Really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, don't hit people so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.